In our last episode, we descended into the darkness of lament. We heard the psalmist cry out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" We sat with the poem that ends in, "Darkness is my closest friend." We felt the rage of exiles by the rivers of Babylon. The Psalms make room for every kind of grief, but they do not end there. Today, we turn to trust. Not trust that ignores the darkness, but trust forged within it. Remember what we said about lament. The Psalms speak from within a covenant relationship. That covenant is the foundation of trust as well. The psalmist does not trust an unknown God or a distant cosmic force. The psalmist trusts the God who made promises to Abraham, who delivered Israel from Egypt, who spoke from Sinai, who dwelt in the tabernacle. Trust in the Psalms is always covenant trust. The most famous psalm in the world is only 6 verses long. It has been whispered at bedsides and shouted at funerals. It has comforted the dying and strengthened the living for 3,000 years. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. The image is deceptively simple. A shepherd, a sheep, the ancient hills of Judea dotted with flocks. But the metaphor carries weight. The sheep does not provide for itself. It does not choose its path. It does not protect itself from predators. The sheep's only job is to follow. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He refreshes my soul. The language is physical: rest, water, refreshment. Before the psalm speaks of eternal truths, it speaks of the body's needs. He guides me along the right paths for His name's sake. The right paths are not always the easy paths. The shepherd does not promise smooth terrain, only that the way is not random. There is a destination. There is a purpose. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. This is the turning point. The psalm does not pretend there is no valley. It does not skip from green pastures to banquet tables. It goes through the shadow. The Hebrew phrase is literally the valley of the shadow of death. The psalm acknowledges what every human knows. The path leads through places of terror. But the psalmist does not walk alone. The rod is for fending off predators. The staff is for guiding wandering sheep. Both are instruments of protection, of correction, of presence. I will fear no evil, not because there is no evil, but because there is a shepherd. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. The imagery shifts. The sheep becomes a guest. The shepherd becomes a host. In the ancient Near East, to share a meal with someone was to be under their protection. To anoint a guest with oil was to honor them. The overflowing cup is not just enough, it is abundance. And all of this happens in the presence of enemies. The table is not set in safety, it is set in the middle of the battlefield. This is defiant hospitality. This is celebration amid siege. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. The psalm ends with a backward glance and a forward hope. Goodness and love pursuing, a permanent home waiting. This is trust, not certainty about the future, but confidence in the shepherd. There is another kind of psalm, not personal trust, but cosmic praise. Psalm 8 begins with wonder. Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory in the heavens. The psalmist looks up. The night sky stretches overhead, thick with stars. The moon rises over distant hills, and the human being feels small. When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of them, human beings that you care for them? The question echoes Job, but where Job asked it in anguish, the psalmist asks it in amazement. The universe is vast beyond comprehension. The stars are countless. The distances are unimaginable. And yet, God is mindful of human beings. You have made them a little lower than the angels, and crowned them with glory and honor. You made them rulers over the works of your hands. You put everything under their feet, all flocks and herds, and the animals of the wild, the birds in the sky, and the fish in the sea, all that swim the paths of the seas. This is not arrogance, it is responsibility. Humanity is not at the center of the cosmos because of some intrinsic worth. Humanity is placed in stewardship because God chose to share His work. Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. The psalm ends where it began. The circle closes. Majesty frames everything. Psalm 19 adds another layer. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. Creation speaks, not in words, but in existence. The sun rises and sets. The seasons turn. The stars wheel overhead in predictable patterns. And all of it testifies. They have no speech. They use no words. No sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. This is the paradox of cosmic praise. The heavens have no voice, yet they speak. The skies have no language, yet they communicate. In the heavens, God has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course. It rises at one end of the heavens and makes its circuit to the other. Nothing is deprived of its warmth. The sun is not worshipped here. It is a creature, obedient and joyful, running its appointed course. The psalm then pivots from creation to law. The law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. The statutes of the Lord are trustworthy, making wise the simple. The precepts of the Lord are right, giving joy to the heart. The commands of the Lord are radiant, giving light to the eyes. The fear of the Lord is pure, enduring forever. The decrees of the Lord are firm, and all of them are righteous. They are more precious than gold, than much pure gold. They are sweeter than honey from the honeycomb. Creation and law, cosmos and ethics. They are not separate. They are both expressions of the same wisdom. By them your servant is warned. In keeping them there is great reward. But who can discern their own errors? Forgive my hidden faults. Keep your servant also from willful sins. May they not rule over me. May these words of my mouth and this meditation of my heart be pleasing in your sight, Lord, my rock and redeemer. Rock and redeemer, stability and rescue. The God of the cosmos is also the God of the individual heart. There is one more psalm we must hear before we leave this chapter. Psalm 46 speaks to those who live in a world that feels like it is falling apart. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. This is not ordinary trouble. This is the end of the world. And yet, there is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy place where the Most High dwells. God is within her, she will not fall. God will help her at break of day. In the midst of chaos, there is a river, a stream of life flowing through the city of God. The city will not fall because God is within it. Nations are in uproar, kingdoms fall. He lifts his voice, the earth melts. The same voice that spoke creation into being can melt it back into chaos. This is not a God who watches from a distance. This is a God who acts. The Lord Almighty is with us. The God of Jacob is our fortress.